Welcome to the Meta Podcast, episode 96. This whole year has gone ridiculously fast, and I feel like 85 to 95 episodes have gone ridiculously fast, because it feels like yesterday that I was like, still 15 episodes until I have to start thinking about getting to the big hundo, but now it's just approaching before I know what to do about it. All the way there, though, Marco and Adam have been with me and continue to do so. Marco, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
What did you pop to the shops for before?
I actually took a U-turn and came back because I realised the nearby one was closed and the next furthest away was a bit too far away, so I bailed. Abby's in the car on a bill. Full U-turn.
Oh, fair enough. What were you going to get? Shopping stuff?
Gonna get
Basic stuff.
Some lemons and some cooking supplies, baking supplies.
No malt?
I actually needed to get back to make me a malt because I was thinking about announcing that, but I've not got one yet, so...
A malt?
Fine. I've not been around for the malt chat. It's big in big news.
No? What's going on?
No.
Actually,
Instead of malding, it's malting.
Yeah, man.
Is that a thing? Or is that like a Dota-wide malt?
No, this is a Marco-wide.
Oh, it's a Marco malt. Okay.
I just discovered the drink that is malt, and have been malting it up recently. It's been pretty good.
Is this real life? Is this an actual drink called malt?
Yeah. If you think about Maltesers, it's like a liquid form of Malteser. It's an ingredient.
Really?
Malt is a thing. It's been around since like the 19th century. So I've just been on the train.
For all the US people, Maltesers are like Whoppers. Like
Thanks,
malted milk balls.
Yeah, we've had lots of conversations about US, UK malt, Maltesers. It's been a big thing. Basically,
really?
I discovered it.
It's replaced his nighttime teas. Like, I think I'm going to go make a malt.
Yeah, man, everyone's mind was just blown. My own mind was blown.
That's so indulgent, though. It's like having hot chocolate every day, like cocoa instead of tea. That's like...
But
I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. I'm not sure I've like given up on life enough to
apparently it's good for you.
Apparently
there's also good vitamins and stuff. And like, soldiers in the war had malt because it's so OP. There's no bad stuff. It's like some super drink.
Soldiers in the war had malt.
Yeah,
is this research?
It's written on the tub.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize it was written on the tub that it's good for you. That's conclusive.
No, apparently it's got a lot of vitamins, so I'm like, yeah, let's get it straight in.
Okay, so Maltesers, does that have anything to do with the product malt?
Yeah. Malt is some kind of ingredient, some grain, and the way you like process it makes it malt. I don't know the techniques and mechanics. But that's another podcast I've got on the side if you want to listen in. Making it malt.
Yeah, it's like I have heard of it. It's in cereals, like breakfast cereals.
Yeah, some kind of grain.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad to have that update.
I mean, asking what did you get from the shop is you're asking for a sidetrack.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Adam, have you got learned anything interesting this week to parallel malt?
No, that was. I mean, I learned that about Marco like within the last week. That's a big character reveal. You know what I mean? I thought I knew somebody.
Character reveal, yeah.
And then it's like I didn't realize Marco was like 23, going on 70. with his
malt
drink choices, yeah. You even warm it a little bit, don't you? I mean, that is like geriatric.
I mean, yeah, the microwave milk is key ingredient.
Strong. I've been. We're probably losing listeners in droves here, but I've been. I'm in like decaf lifestyle now. Not only coffee. I did actually. I occasionally have calf, but like on the whole, I have decaf. Also, I'm on the decaf tea lifestyle now as well.
What?
Yeah, I randomly got a big box of decaf tea, Can't remember what the brand was, like Yorkshire tea or something. I actually think it tastes better. I don't know if it's just like placebo or something, because it's marginal.
Interesting.
I actually prefer it. It's not because I don't want caffeine necessarily. I actually think that decaf tea tastes a little bit better.
Wow.
I think decaf coffee doesn't taste as nice because it's weaker.
Yeah.
But decaf tea, I actually think this decaf tea is good.
Decaf coffee, I definitely can vibe with, even though you lose a bit of taste. Like, yeah, it's less degen. Decaf tea, that's bold. Some stoic tea fans might not be happy about that.
Yeah. I don't know what the... Go on.
Is there that much caffeine in tea?
No, there's not. I didn't get I sort of got the decaf tea as like as like the worst YOLO ever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I got it like... it's a YOLO if you're 23 going on 70. Like, decaf tea. Like, wow. Okay. I'll try that. And then the taste was good. And I was like, let's keep going. Keep it going.
Damn.
So, yeah, watch this space. Is this a new corner? As Drinks Corner of the New Meta podcast? I don't know. Moving on, though, to more news. I was going to ask if every Dota hero wrote an autobiography, whose would be the most interesting and whose would be the least interesting. Let's do it. Let's just do another tangent, because that's kind of Dota related. We'll slowly pivot towards the patch, which is the topic of the
hero list. Pull up.
Let me lean back and consult my Dota poster.
Surely,
that's a character insight. That's as well as drinking malt.
That's world class, that poster.
Purchase for Liverpool. Oracle.
Doesn't he have to have interesting story? Doesn't he foresee all the futures?
Ooh, smart.
It'd be a confusing autobiography, though. I don't know if I could read that.
Zeus must have seen quite a lot. God of immortality, isn't he? Something like that.
Is this, what was the qualifier we're using? Most interesting?
Yeah, I guess. Or just like consider their autobiographies. I don't know. What about like Terrorblade?
Bane's would be pretty messed up. Yeah, any of the demons. Any of the demons plus Bane. Like, that's... Because Terrorblade's a demon.
I think Meepo would have a funny one. I feel like there'd be quite a lot of character to the Meepo one.
Yeah, I don't actually know any of the lore, really, so I'm basically going off hero lines and appearance and stuff.
Yeah, voice lines.
Yeah, like Witch Doctor and Dazzle would have some funky ones, I reckon.
I mean, we all know who would be the least interesting. There's actually a couple.
Morphling? Just water?
That's not what I would... the book would be all wet and gross.
Yeah. I don't know.
So there's two I'm specifically thinking about.
Io?
Yes. Because be written in Morse code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then Phoenix, because it'd be written in squawks.
Yeah. Page 1, Angry Squawk. Page 2. Yeah. Delightful beeps or whatever. Well, we've pretty much exhausted that topic in about 30 seconds. So, well done for me for coming up with that one. I'm totally outclassed by this malt.
Yeah, who knew? Malt, way more interesting.
Yeah, way more content just keeps coming. So, how have games been, briefly, before we get on to the patch? Marco, have you been getting into much Dota this week? How's it been going for you?
Yeah, I've been in a decent chunk. Guild Gaming strong. An issue I've got at the moment is my cavern progression. I've used up all my carries. So I've got quite a big pool of mid heroes to play and then kind of supporty heroes. And 80% of the games I'm keen to play safe lane, and there's just no one there in the cavern to do it. So that's been a bit of a struggle.
I have that with the reverse. All my mids are exhausted, and I've got to play like Tinker or Shadow Fiend to get through.
Yeah, Tinker. Oof. That's like on par with Adam's Alchemist. We just don't want it to come out.
Oh boy!
So criminally underrated. My Tinker. I once got a triple kill.
Yeah,
just putting that out there.
I had so quite a lot of games. One notable one was we were 30k XP up, 10k gold up, 2 racks up. the gold wasn't even more because they had this Omega Farm bounty hunter, lots of track, etc. That's the state of the game. And then the enemy team push mid and they've got a Pugner, and I don't BKB prior to Scream, Ultimate, Shivas, spells. I just get popped to like 1.1, 1.2k damage, instantly die, no buyback, IO tiny, kill or throne. And our guild in this party stack, literally in the space of a minute, is just like blank behind the eyes, just like, did we just lose this game? So that's pretty rough.
Eek.
That's one of those wins where you know when you don't deserve a win and it's not meant to happen, and then it just appears out of nowhere that it's just like God has touched you. But we were the reverse, like just haunted by hell.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Last night as well.
Was that the game summary? Just the poem of when you think you're touched by God, but you're actually, what was it?
Haunted by hell.
Haunted by hell, yeah.
That was actually such a dark loss. Like, oh wow, I can't believe I didn't press BKB, and it just got zapped. And then other notable shout out was last night playing that 5-stack twice in a row. The first time we played them, we got Omega stomped. Like Omega stomped, but same 5-stack again, and then we didn't Omega stomp them, but we solidly won both times with Adam's Alk.
Yeah.
And we got the cavern for Adam, that's all that matters, and we were all friends at the end of it, so that's what matters.
That's true. That's true.
Fun games.
Adam, any games to add in the last 7 days?
I got Alk done, so that's good.
Nice.
I sheltered a lot of blame for these games, but no one would help me. They would just let me lose. And everyone just tried to out-farm me instead of like rotating around. And again, then it got pointed to be my fault. Yeah. So it made me sad. But I got 1,000+ GPM on the last game and won. So that was good. It took like 5 tries, but it finished. I played 2 Lena games for some reason as a 4, and I won both of them, and that brought my win rate to 39.7% on Lena.
Nice.
In 76 games, so it's not even like a small amount of games. I play that hero a lot and lose a lot, and so I don't know why I would have kept playing it.
How many games have you got on Lena? Sorry,
76.
76.
Enough to know that I should stop playing it. It's like a top 15 most played hero for me, and then all of my most played heroes are like solidly above 50%. 55 plus, and then there's just 39 just sitting there like, oof.
Yeah, that's rough. I've got 41% on win ranger with 88 games. That's pretty rough.
Quietly just ignoring the TA.
Oh god, I didn't even see TA. Yeah, I've got 40 on TA with 130 games. That's pretty bad.
Yikers.
Yeah. It's TA. I mean, TA is the most. I've talked about this so many times. Most confusing hero ever, because I feel like whenever I play it, it feels good, but then the win rate's bad. So I don't know. I have 272 games on Lena, so that's a lot of games on Lena. It's approaching Meepo. Honestly, Meepo's. Wow, how many games do you think I've got on Meepo?
Oh, that's funny. I'm on your page, so I know.
Is it the same?
It's more.
No. It's more than 272.
Meepo? Significant number.
Yeah, it's a significant number.
That's greater like 450 or something?
Not that many. Not that much.
There's intrinsic meaning to the number.
322?
Yes. Yeah. 322 Meepo games. And it's ironic because I've only just noticed that and I haven't played him in 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so my last Meepo game was 5 months ago. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, I need to get this guy out again. He's my most played hero. But yeah, Lena 272. Yeah, I really should get Meepo out, especially now that he's been mini buffed in this patch. Or kind of quality of life change. We'll get to that later. My games? I've actually played a fair few games this week. Got a win on TA, and if Adam's going to shout out getting a rogue win on Lena, I'll shout out my rogue TA win. Had a fun Axe game at the start of the week. Shadow Fiend fail for Cavern. Had a good Razor game yesterday, that was good fun in the 5-stack. And then I just rattled off a win with Necro, which feels good. And it was the classic Necro game that you've described, Marco, where I'm laning mid against a Zeus, which is really annoying because Zeus is pretty good against Necro, obviously. Zeus is running around getting kills and stuff, but I'm just like AFK mid farming. And it's kind of like what you just said. I just turn up with Tread's Hood Radiance at 20 minutes, and then I'm just really strong. And it's kind of just, it feels like we're just ahead, even though the kill score we're behind, and Zeus is like 4-0 or something. But you just AFK on a Necro, and as long as your team doesn't completely capitulate, you're just quite strong from there. Finished off with the Pipe 4-staff Lotus. It's a fun game.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got much else to report other than that. I will need to be getting a win on SF, so that might become...
Wow, that
might become a problem, yeah. That might become a problem. My SF infamous for getting a Rampage within 10 minutes and then auto-losing within 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So that's basically my SF in a nutshell. Let's jump into this patch then. This is likely the first of 2 pods in a row about this patch because the heroes are yet to come. Today, this week, we had the general changes and the item changes. I suppose it makes sense just to start with the top, unless anyone has any objections to that. Hero kills, XP increased from 40 to 100, gold increased from 99 plus 7.2 times level to 120 plus 8 times level, so just last hit gold increased for kills. Assists, I believe the headline for this number is just assists get you a lot more gold later in the game. They're higher at all levels, but later in the game, much higher.
I think on the whole, the assist is lower though. Like doing the numbers, the 45 to 30 like outweighs that net worth factor increase for like until the super late game. So the general takeaway is that assist gold's less.
Is that right? I thought it was.
Me and Nick did a couple numbers, yeah.
It was like 0.005 higher, so it takes a long time for that 5,000ths buff to kick in. I mean, I don't think it. I think it's more gold overall for a kill, though. Not necessarily for assists, but there's more. I mean, more total gold going around for the last hitter,
right?
And the XP. I think that's the big takeaway. Is you're incentivized to kill people. If you've ever seen anybody in the last week, they're like the last hero that survives outside of a team fight. They're just like, level 25 all of a sudden.
Yeah, I felt that already. I
mean, you hit 30 on Razor, and I was like, what the heck? Level 30 Razor.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that late.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you survive a fight, it's like turbo mode. You get so much out of surviving a fight. Now, like, it's noticeable. It's like actually noticeable, even for me who doesn't pay attention. It's actually noticeable.
Yeah, I remember Seb did a 5-minute video where he said the patch is so bad because of this hero kill incentive not existing, i.e. you leave the lane, get a kill, the XP gold you got from doing that just didn't outweigh staying in a lane and farming. And so he was like, this isn't Dota, this is just, you're encouraging people to not try and play Dota. You're just encouraging bot gameplay. So now this is just a big reverse, and rotations now are impactful, and kills actually matter to your progression and snowball. So
that's good, right? I mean,
that's good for the game. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's pretty much covered, I would say. We don't want to dwell too much because there's quite a lot of changes. Passive gold increased by 10. It's quite nice. Interesting change, I suppose. Bounty runes are now reliable gold. Last hit, tower last hit bounty from 180 for tiers 1 to 4. Now it scales up to 180, so a bit less for killing towers. And neutral stacking support bounty increased from 35% to 40%. I was thinking about this.
That's a lot.
This means that if you stack for someone else, you're actually generating gold. That's a lot better than you stacking for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Support life.
Yeah, just get paid.
Yeah, I mean, that is the optimum way you play the support hero that doesn't clear the stack is stacking camps. It's just that in pubs, often the core has to do it themselves. But yeah, ultimately, your support does it. You benefit, they benefit, everyone wins.
Yeah. That's interesting. Why do you think they've made these changes to gold? Passive gold's up, reliable gold from bounty runes, but towers are down. But neutral stacking's up. This is good for supports, right? They're just richer now. Bounties, passive gold, and stacking. That's like all support stuff.
Yeah.
Is that to balance out giving last hit gold? They just want everyone to be a bit richer, I guess. Do they want the game to be faster?
That's a good point. You'd expect last hit on heroes more to the core heroes. So yeah, you balance it a bit with the supports getting these little bonuses. So yeah, it's just across the board, 1 to 5. Everyone is looking at a bit more gold. Yeah.
Mid lane creep camps change from medium to small. Removed prowler camp.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Adam, are you happy that prowlers are gone, or are you sad? Split the Dota community, this question.
On the whole, I thought they were pretty annoying. But if you were a magic damage hero, they were pretty cool. So, yeah. If you're a Lena fan, that was your favorite camp, I guess. If you're a right-clicker, man, that was really annoying to get rooted and lose half your armor. And then, just insane regen and all the other creeps would get while you're trying to kill.
Yeah, they felt way too swingy, really. Because you've got one end, it's just the freest gold ever to say a magic caster.
SF
or even,
or something?
Yeah, SF. Or even when you right-click later on in the game, you can just two-hit it because they're so weak. But then you swing to the other side and you can die to it. It's so hard to kill relative to other camps if you're like a level 10 carry. So,
and if you stack it, it heals multiple ones of those. The heal was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Bulldog videos where he would try and do the Kunkka torrent, stack up all the ancients, right? For the Omega clear. And then he tried it once they got rid of the prowlers. And he actually missed the prowlers because the creeps were dying to him torrenting over the course of 20 minutes because they weren't regening anymore. It's the prowlers are really important for the regen. And so you would lose a couple creeps, just the torrent damage. Pretty.
A bunch of map changes here. So they're removing a tree, they're adjusting low ground, whatever, change some camps. Now the medium camp near the Radiant Secret Shop's a hard camp or something. I can't be bothered because no one actually cares about the specifics, but you need to sort of play to decide. The headline is, though, that Ancients are back in the Radiant Triangle.
Yeah, I like that.
It gives symmetry to the map, which I think is nice. I think in the old days, a few days ago, both Ancients are on the right side of the map, you know what I mean? Where the Radiant's Ancients are and the Dire's Ancients are. So if you're... I feel like you could quite easily get control of both of them. But now they're diagonally symmetrical. I feel like it's harder to have control over both those, because usually you have control of one side of the map, right? So when both Ancients are on one side of the map, you could control them, but now that's harder to do, so maybe that makes the balance of the game a bit fairer, just not as easy to abuse. I like the symmetry.
The small camp in the mid lane is good for Alk.
Very good for Alk, yeah.
Yeah.
Mid Alk is back now, surely, versus the safe lane, just purely based on that change.
Yeah, if you want to get kobolds, that's 5 creeps.
Yeah. And
they're just they're so, not tanky. They all just die you don't even have to be there. You just put down an acid spray and you just clear the whole camp to get the gold for freeze.
It's really strong for heroes that can't really farm camps that early. So even just on a necro that I just played, even early levels, you got level 1 death pulse. If you clear a wave or your wave's under their tower, you can just go and take a small camp easily. Whereas before it might be potatoes or something that are really tanky and hard to kill. There's no way you're killing them when you're level 2. Now you just
was the rock golems.
Oh yeah, the rock golems. Yeah. Now it's just easy mode. You can take a small camp super easily on pretty much any hero.
Easy stacks too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, easy stacks. It kind of changes the mid lane dynamic a bit. I feel like it's on pretty much every hero. You just want to be taking that free stack because you're going to be able to clear it so easily. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, definitely prioritizes like lane shovers because you can shove the lane into their tower, take your camp really easy, and then you'll be back by the time their tower shoves your wave back to you. So it's just like free gold.
Yeah, definitely. Outposts can no longer be stolen by the other team until they kill one of your tier 2 towers. That's kind of an interesting change. Tier 2 is now even more of an objective after we've been pushing them as a significant objective all along before tier 3.
I love it. Basically, that's meant like your first 2 10-minute, 20-minute, you're getting the XP boost because nobody's really killing towers before 20. It feels like because everyone's TPing in to protect them because of how important they are. So I really like that. You know, we don't have shrines, and we don't have the old outposts where the secret shops were. It's like, you know, we didn't have like a medium objective outside of towers, and I like that this is kind of a thing now.
Yeah. I like the fact that you don't have this gimmicky, you can snipe outposts, or it's a bit, maybe, I don't know if gimmick's too harsh, but it doesn't follow this logical objective gaming of tower into outpost makes sense and kind of is justified. And Dota is this very, I don't know if logical is the right word, but you know, you've got to kill the towers to then get the next tower, to then get the next tower. There is a bit of method to the objective side of the game, so this fits that nicely. And I do think annoying little shits of stealing the outpost.
Yeah, you'd always have like a Nature's Prophet TP in across the map, and like no one's around because you knew you were going to get it, and then he just comes in and snipes it for free, and it was so annoying.
10-second smoke before 20 minutes, someone nips it away from you, and it's a bit like, oh, well, what's this fucking mini game of outpost ninja? It's not really Dota.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see it changed.
Yeah, even just, you know, bounty runes at the horn, and then someone will randomly take the outpost. It's a bit like, now at some point in the next 10 minutes, I've got to, you know, go over there and take it again for no reason. It's just like an annoying thing that doesn't add to the game or anything particularly. It's kind of, it makes sense. It's still cool that you can take them over. I'm glad that they didn't just say, oh, you can't take them over. Because it would be dumb if you couldn't take them.
Dire would just have a huge advantage. They'd have the Roche shrine or the Roast outpost.
Yeah, and also it's dumb that if they took out that ability to take them, then you could be in a situation where you've taken all the tier 2s and you completely dominate the map. Enemy teams forced high ground, and yet they still have an outpost. That would be silly as well. So I think tier 2 is the right place to put it in.
Yeah,
especially since they also, I mean, they've completely changed what they did. Right now, they like give nowhere near the vision they used to. Like it was really important to have them for vision. Like drastically nerfed that, so it's like kind of just a TP location and / like a little bit of bonus XP as the game goes on.
When they first came out, they were so insane. Do you remember how much XP they gave? And
flying vision, and it was like gem vision too, like a Ricky. You could just see a Ricky through that entire like swath of trees. It was so awesome.
They still give true vision, right? True sight.
Barely. I mean, it's like small.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah, because it's like you'll take it, and then it will reveal like a ward that was sitting in front of it.
Interesting. All lane creeps now avoid hero aggro until they are near enemy camps, neutrals, or within 1,550 range of their tier 1 tower, and this is until 5 minutes into the game. So this is kind of the end of creep cutting, at the end of crazy creep cutting. Just to get the chain straight, you can still pull creeps. You can still creep cut, but you need to wait for the creeps to be close to the tier 1 tower. 1,550 range, that is like a screen, I believe. So if you were playing, I don't know, a hero like Axe, you'll still be able to pull them near, like, kind of in between the tier 1 and 2, but not really, like, quite close to the tier 1, like, almost within tower range, like, quite close to that. So you can still creep cut, but it's much, much easier for it to be answered, to the point where it might just not happen anymore. What do you think about this change?
What do you think? Can you, like, axe call? Or will the creeps just keep walking? I wonder.
I think they would get aggroed, but maybe just don't hit you.
Or you do that Darkseer thing where you just throw an ion shell on the wave while it's running anyways. I like it. I mean, I don't like it when the game, like when creep cutting became the optimal thing to do. There's been multiple metas where that's happened, and it's just not fun. Like, it's just not good for a fun way to play. I know it's like, it feels really iffy to be like, yeah, let's start doing this from minute 0, just dragging and doubling up waves. Like, that's the way Ice Frog intended it.
Yeah, I want there to be a balance. Like, I want it to be viable in some games, but not all. It's really hard to get that balance right. I kind of did feel like they had that, though. It wasn't like you were watching pro games and people were pulling waves all the time. Sometimes the POS 4 will pull a wave, like, round, but I didn't feel like it was that bad. And also I'm biased because I like playing Axe. But
yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be, for sure.
Oh yeah, it used to be ridiculous. It used to be both offlaners, you know, before they changed it for the first wave.
Just the suicide offlaner alone.
Yeah.
Try. It's like, I'm going to go try and double this up, and then I'll die. And by the time I respawn and TP back to tower, I'll have a double wave. I'll get level 2. Just, ugh.
Yeah. I'm kind of... I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better change than this one, because sometimes in 1v1s, like offlane versus offlaner, that happens in metas, and sometimes I feel like it's cool to see the, like, optimizations of laning, where people pull the creeps towards camps and stuff. And that can still happen after 5 minutes, but that's quite a long time. No one wants to see, you know, someone just between the tier 2 and the tier 3 just spinning on Axe, being unanswered. But I feel like in pro games you weren't really seeing that anyway, so I don't know, I feel like maybe this is a bit too much.
It is just the first 5.
Yeah, it is just the first 5. I don't know. What do you think, Marco?
I think 5 minutes is a reasonable time frame. Like, I agree that you don't want to kill this level of creativity completely, but from minute 0 is a bit dumb, iffy, like Adam says. But I think 5 minutes is a pretty sensible time to then say, okay.
5 is when you would be doing it to begin with. Like, the first 5 minutes is when you do it.
Yeah, I know it is, but the fact that you're still saying it is a possibility, but now you just have to adapt your game for the first 5 to be something a little bit more normal. I think that's reasonable. I think people will be able to figure stuff out. I don't think 5 minutes is too long, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's weird shenanigans you can do, like battle hungering a creep on Axe, have it walk towards the tower, so like the instant it goes within range, like all the creeps aggro. I don't know how something like that would work, but we'll see. It probably does end creep cutting, though. It's a bit too easy to answer it now. I mean, 1,500 range is quite a lot, so maybe a bit of an overreaction, but we'll see. I'll be surprised to see creep cutting, personally. But maybe that's a good thing overall for the game. Beyond that, courier bounty reduced from 30 plus 7 to 25 plus 5, so just couriers are worth a bit less. You get flying courier at 4 now rather than at 5. That's quite nice. Courier speed reduced. Wasn't there a change that it takes longer when it's carrying consumables? Was that last patch?
I think that was this patch.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I just didn't read it.
It's this patch.
I didn't read it. I read all of the changes and just hallucinated out the third line for some reason. Yeah, so courier speed reduced by 15% while carrying consumables. It's kind of a funny change, but there's a reason behind it. Do you guys have a theory? I was under the impression that this was to nerf people starting with like Orb of Venom. and then ferrying regen straight away. It takes longer, so it's a bit more punishing to do that, because that was like being built on every side lane.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely can't keep sending it back and forth for like one set of tangos. It's like what they used to do with bottle crowing, where if the bottle was not full, it heavily like slowed down your courier. It's the same type of deal. And like also people or heroes that need clarities, like you can't just bring out one clarity now, because you should, be more what's the word for it?
Efficient?
Yeah, efficient. Yeah. You should be more cognizant of what like you are bringing out, because 15% is a lot.
Yeah,
it slows down. It just slows down. You're getting around the map. Maybe it even makes you go back to regen at some point. And the whole point is to stay out on the map. So you definitely want to be, if you're bringing out consumables, you want to bring out a lot, like not just one tango or one mango or a clarity. You want to be bringing out like 3 or 4 things to maximize, especially in the early game. I think I've already had this affect me and like lose a lane because my courier was really slow, and then it got sniped and it had 2 salves on it, and it kind of was like I'm an alk against a quap, and now the game is over because I don't have 2 salves for like a minute and a half. So
yeah, the snipe potential is a good point, actually. That makes it much easier to chase down, or you might see the enemy try and turn it away, but it's too slow to get away. I
mean, they're already giga slow at early levels. So 15% is like almost they're rooted. They're like moving at like 250 or something.
It also feels. I like the point about the orb and you start with these greedy items, say, but it also generally feels like it's a nerf to the snowball of if you get kills in the lane, say, and you're ahead, likely you are going to have to ferry consumables to kind of stay active, stay going. The fact that you're going to have to wait longer to get them does just mean there's more like kind of comeback window / you can't snowball as hard because you're going to have more downtime or passive time waiting for those consumables to keep you healthy. So your pace of the game, particularly if you're ahead, will be that bit slower. So balance the field a little bit, make it not as easy to just crush, because you get ahead, you keep ferrying consumables, and you keep getting ahead. That's harder to execute.
Yeah. Moving on, armor is different. Do we have any advances on that?
I mean, I always thought it was 7 armor equals an agi, but now they're saying it's 6 armor.
What? You mean 6 agi equals 1 armor?
Sorry, yeah. In the past, it used to be 7 or 8 agi was 1 armor. Now it's saying 0.16 used to be 1 agi, which doesn't cleanly go into a number, I don't think. But now it's 1 agi equals 1/6. So
1.167 repeating or something.
Yeah. So now it's just a clean 6 agi gives you an armor.
I wonder why they did it.
I mean, there's been a few kind of
clean for the code or something.
Yeah, cleaner code changes the past few months, half a year or something. Yeah. And then also, generally, everyone's now got a bit more armor, whatever.
Yeah. This is an interesting change that's very noticeable. The changes to a tower attack speed. So basically, the towers attack faster but do less damage.
Same DPS.
Same DPS. Yes.
Yeah.
And the siege unit's health is increased by 60. So I believe that the siege unit change means that if the tower just hits the siege unit and nothing else has damaged it at all, you get an easy CS. It hits it 3 times and you have an easy CS, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be 4 times.
I think it's 4, yeah.
4 times and you have the easy CS.
Yeah.
The big one is the range creep denies, right? It's times it up so that you can deny the range creep much, much easier from the enemy because you can prep the right click because it's already going to be below half health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Do you like these changes? Have you played much with them?
It's weird after 7 or 8 years of range creeps getting hit twice, and you needing to hit them twice most of the time. Once if you have a quelling blade. Now it's like, if nothing else hits the range creep, it's 3 hits. That does not feel good. I mean, it feels okay. Now that it doesn't feel good, it feels weird that the tower hits the range creep 3 times. I think it's 6 times now on melees instead of 5. So it's just something to get used to. I wonder how it will affect low projectile speed, right clickers.
Definitely bad.
Yeah, ranged heroes. Because the tower projectiles are pretty fast.
Yeah, I think this is just a nerf to 80% of the population.
Yeah, you're going to be missing some CS.
Yeah.
It's quite nice that it kind of raises the skill cap in a way, because it means that range creeps are now contested between both heroes. And even if you've got a slow attack speed, you can still time it perfectly. You know, there's the opportunity to perfectly time a deny or CS, and that will be rewarded. Like, players that do that better will be rewarded. So I quite like that.
It is interesting. It is, I think, easier to last hit the range creep because you don't have to say drop your quelling blade to prep it. But then at the same time, like you say, because it takes 3 hits, after the second hit, you can start denying it and land the deny much easier than it used to be if you wanted to deny the range creep. So actually, it's interesting how both sides have got a little bit of a buff to it. So yeah, now it comes a bit more skill-based, which is cool. One annoying thing I found is in the past, you were able to kind of say, oh, this creep's got 330 HP. I know a right click or a tower hit's going to be around 100, so 3 times 100, quick, easy maths. But now when it's they've got 430 HP, I'm now having to do these multiples of 90 in my head to figure out how many hits it needs to do. It's fucking testing, man. But it's good fun.
Yeah, I kind of like it overall. An interesting thing also is you do take a little bit more harass from melee creeps, because when you're tanking a whole wave under tower, say, every single creep is taking an extra hit. That adds up, and you do take more damage because of it. You know, and also it means that you can do little things in mids, like for example, if your wave's been nuked, you can drag your creep wave all the way through the tier 1 and have it meet with your mid wave in between the 2 towers and stuff like that. It's much easier because the wave's just tankier now. So lots of little things like that. All pick drafting has been reworked. Each team now picks 2 heroes per round before they are revealed, rather than just 1. And the final round's the same, so rather than being 1-1-1-1, it's now 2-2-1. All pick ban count increased to 12, it was 10. And the first 2 rounds have 5 extra seconds for picking. Do we like this?
I hate it.
Why do you hate it? I thought that I liked it, but now I'm not so sure.
It doesn't feel good to pick 2 heroes at once. It's like double the amount of times you could just get destroyed by, I wouldn't say counterpick, but just unluck. You know?
Yeah. Rather than just the last pick or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Why do you think... Yeah, go on.
It feels a bit volatile because of that big uncertainty. And another thing I was thinking, I feel like if you can pick a safe mid laner, Quap, say, someone that you know is just a solid mid laner that's not really ever going to get dicked over, I feel like that's really strong, because then you can guarantee your 5th pick seeing 4 heroes rather than 2. What a difference. If that's going to be your 1 picking last. And also, even pos 3-4 heroes, picking them, not having knowledge of 2 heroes can make a big difference. You could pick a 3 or 4 that really wrecks 2 of the heroes if you were able to, for some reason, pick a Quap first phase. So, I don't know, that's a little bit of strategy I was thinking. I don't know how useful that is. On the whole, it does feel a bit more volatile and a bit more, we don't know what a good pick is, and you can't know what a good pick is, and you could just get fucked. So, I don't know. It's a weird one.
Yeah, you need to make the assessment of is it worth guaranteeing that your mid lane's going to be advantageous for the enemies? Is it worth doing that for you to get your carry to know exactly what the lane is that he's up against? It's kind of an interesting conundrum. Probably is worth that if you can pick a hero like Quap.
I think so.
Yeah. There are more... Yeah, I don't know, or you just roll the dice with a carry. Do you think in general, though, this is just a buff to safer heroes? Just a buff to, like, your won't lose a lane kind of heroes? Or do you think it's a buff to potential cheese wins where you might just get free wins? I don't know, it's hard to say.
Maybe it's a buff to synergy picks. Like, if you can play a draft where your first 2 picks is Tusk Windrunner or some kind of synergy duo, I feel like that's going to really do good work, because normally people aren't going to synergize, and then you don't have this factor of I pick a hero to counter pick a hero. Like, you don't have any sight, so what you're left with is, can we pick 2 heroes that really go well together? And if they do, we've probably got 2 better heroes than the enemy team. So maybe that's one way to look at it. So it makes the team picks a bit more team orientated, because you're not picking based off what the enemy team's got. You don't see enough info, so you need to pick on like your own team synergy. Like, counter picking is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, your own synergy is what you know. Why go off seeing 2 enemy heroes when you see 4 friendly heroes? It just makes sense. Changes to captain's mode. Rather than being 4-1-1, it's 2-3-2 on the bans. And they've changed the duration. They've changed the pick phase as well to be, rather than Radiant Dire Radiant, it's Radiant Dire for the first phase. Interesting. And they've changed the ban order in the 3rd ban. I mean, the headline is just the changes to the bans. This means that rather than being 8 bans going into the first phase, there's now only 4. So you're going to see more meta heroes.
A lot more powerful heroes coming out.
Yeah, in the first phase. It's an interesting... Do you think this is good? It's hard to know why they've done this. It's hard to see what they have in mind here.
It's hard to say what's going to happen from these ban counts. It's... Yeah. I don't know, it feels like they want to try and make more room for creativity, perhaps, because rather than 8 bans at the start of the game, you pick 2 in the first phase, and you know what direction everyone's drafts go in, maybe. Now it's more, all right, the floodgates are open to pick meta heroes first phase, but then you get a lot of bans, 6 heroes banned in that second phase. That can cut off a lot of avenues, rather than, say, 2 heroes. Was it 2 or something like 2 or 4?
1 before.
So then
2, you got 1 ban after first phase.
Yeah, so rather than second phase bans, only 2 get cut out. It's now 6. So now you can really cut off a lot of strategy draft avenues, meaning perhaps you've got to have more creativity. How do you follow up these meta picks? Maybe that is going to expand strategies and hero pools.
Yeah. An interesting take that I heard from Cinderin was he was saying that because now there's obviously only 4 bans before the start, so you're going to see stronger heroes. And we all know at TI, at the last TI, there was 6 bans going into the first phase of picks, and it still felt like oftentimes there was one hero that you had to choose to let out, whether it be Alchemist or Magnus or Io or something like that, or Ench or whatever. So now it's just even more likely that you're going to get like a meta-crushing hero come out of the first phase. And Cinderin was saying that actually he's kind of worried about this because oftentimes these really strong heroes, they might only have, 3-4 counters max in the game. And now you get to ban 3 of them before the second phase. So they were saying he was saying that you might see a pick, I don't know, say some really strong hero, I don't know, like a Ench or something. And then in the second phase, you just get to ban 3 Ench counters. And suddenly, not only have you got this meta hit pick that you couldn't get before because there was 4 bans, now you've banned all the counters as well. So he was sort of a bit worried that stuff like that might transpire. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world because I don't think that there's something inherently wrong with having strong heroes in the meta. It's a bit boring. It could get boring if you see the same hero all the time. But I don't know. I'm kind of happy to see this change because I feel like 4 first phase bans was a bit much. I think 3 was fine. I don't know. Maybe 2's too little. But we'll see. And then also two last phase bans. I think we'll see some drafters will have to expand their last pick a fair bit because 4 bans just for 1 pick at the end is kind of interesting. It's almost impossible that you're going to get the last pick that you want.
Will Brood ever be picked ever again?
Yeah, perhaps not. We'll have to do like the first phase Brood, like what Liquid did back in the day. They used to do that with Matumba, and like VP did it with Ramses as well. They just picked Brood first phase. Fountain, Fury Swipes. Don't really care. I don't feel there's much to talk about there. Neutral item.
Fountain diving.
Yeah, there's no like sitting in fountain. It's not that significant. 3 damage per hit. It doesn't really matter by the time you're fountain diving.
It attacks pretty fast.
Yeah, it does tack fast, but how many hits would it have to hit before it's dealing 100 damage more each hit, which isn't even that much? Quite a lot to get up there, right? Maybe
it's like 30 times.
Yeah. I mean, you can't like just sit in the fountain. You can't do like some bristleback sit in the fountain with the back turned. You can't do something like that. But yeah, beyond that. And then items no longer dropping if you're teleporting. That's nice for Tinker. Neutral items not dropping if it's Meepo clones that are near. It's nice for Meepo.
It's not a Meepo nerf.
No, it's a Meepo buff. It was so annoying when you used to spawn neutral items when your clones hit something. You can't pick it up with the clones.
Oh, you can't pick it up, okay.
Lifesteal amp now stacks diminishingly rather than additively. HP regen amp now stacks diminishingly rather than additively. Heal amp now stacks diminishingly rather than additively, and the same for spell lifesteal amplification. So these seem like they might have big changes beyond just the seeming simplicity of the lines.
Yeah, this is the SNY Satanic nerf coming in.
Right. No, does it say status resist?
Well, not status resist, but
everything else.
In general, heals, synergies, like Sanj was in a really strong place because you then get a neutral item which heals Sanj, which heal amp and regen amp, and there definitely was a strong place for these Satanics, Sanj items, neutral items, all synergizing the lifesteal HP regen game. So now it's not strong.
So what actually buffs lifesteal amplification? What does lifesteal amp in the game? Is that Sanj that does that and Satanic? Is there anything else? Do heroes have it built in? Is there any lifesteal amp?
I don't know. Like the Voodoo Mask goes on the spell lifesteal amp.
So Halberd, Paladin Sword, Sanj and Yasha.
Does Paladin Sword does that amp?
14% lifesteal amp.
Oh, okay.
So if you think about being a troll or even an Ursa with a morbid mask, and then you amp it with a Sanj and a neutral item, it was really strong. These mid-tier items stacking additively was really strong for your lifesteal. So maybe the HP regen amp stuff less so, and more just the lifesteal amp business.
Yeah, it's quite nasty for Sanj. That's HP regen and lifesteal amp as both. So Sanj was very strong, I would say, because Halberd and SNY were both really, really strong in this patch. So I guess it's kind of fair enough. Items, then I suppose. I'll do drums, and then items. Necronomicon, we said it at the last ep that this was going to be nerfed. Adam, do you like the way that they've nerfed it? I don't know if you want to run through, if you've got it up, what they've done, but...
It's like worse against creeps and buildings, but it's better against heroes. So that's kind of cool. And they nerfed the mana regen on it for level 1. So you can't it's not as efficient to sit on level 1 Necro.
Hmm.
If you pop BKB, last will from killing the melee unit won't trigger.
Yeah.
And then this...
Imagine popping BKB for that.
Yeah, I know, right? It says no longer provides Archer Aura.
Yeah.
So that was their movement speed, attack speed aura.
It was really tiny, wasn't it? It was like 5 attacks.
So they don't have the aura. They're as fast as they were with the aura, but they got rid of the aura. So they buffed their movement speed and attack speed, but it doesn't provide it to everything else. Okay. Yeah. So I like it. It's cool that it does more against heroes. Like, you can't just minus 57% damage against creeps is a ton. Like, you can't just AFK throw that on a camp and let that farm while you're, taking a wave or something. But for someone like Beastmaster, it seems kind of cool. Like, you can melt someone pretty hard with a roar.
Yeah, it's cool that it's now more hero focused. The fact that
Lycan as well. Oof, like, still scary.
That is still scary, yeah. But the fact that they've given it a minus 57% damage change against creep tells you how ridiculously overpowered they were for farming.
It was insane. It would take hard camps at level 1.
You take Ancients, right?
You take Ancients, yeah.
Just alone. Like, you didn't have to be there. You just throw it. You'd be a little tiny bit of micro, so your melee creep wouldn't die, and that was it.
So yeah, it's stronger against heroes, but definitely the farming aspect was what was carrying its use.
And the mana regen. People were raving about the mana regen because it had 2 Sage's masks. People were raving about that.
That's true. So it is a big mana regen decrease, 33% at level 1. Good.
Yep. And then some slippery aura changes now. So Helm Dom no longer provides damage and regen aura. The damage has been slipped over to Vlad's. And
old school Vlad's.
Yeah, we're back to Vlad's.
Vlad's is back.
Helm Dom now also gives the creeps a buff that provides plus 40 base damage, plus 12 HP regen, plus 4 mana regen.
That's to the creep. It's not an aura.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty...
That would be insane.
Yeah.
I read it at first that it was an aura around. I'm like, damn. Okay, it's like, okay, it makes the helm itself worse, but if you have the creep, it's pretty good. Like, that's what I took it as.
Yeah. And the passive bonuses are now plus 6 armor, plus 6 HP regen, plus 6 all stats. Is this good?
The helm now.
Yeah. This
helm and crown.
Helm and what?
Crown.
Components.
Yeah. They changed the recipe.
Right, yeah, expensive recipe now. This apparently though is very good. So people,
the creep is insane.
Yeah, and when you've got a creep like a Hellburst Smash or something, and you can spam spells, because usually you use 2 spells on a creep and it's GG, no more mana. But now people are saying you can use the creep spells to farm 40 base damage, 12 HP regen. Your creep can just go and farm on its own.
Hellburst Smasher also has an attack speed aura, so he hits really fast, and I think he hits for 92.
The new Necro book, right? You just farm with the Helm creep instead of the Necro creep.
Yeah, I've already seen Lunas buy it. Like,
we played against the Luna who got it a 7-minute Helm Dom, just rushed it and just skyrocketed farm for the next 10 minutes.
Triangle.
With the Helm Dom creep, just so good for the farm. Gork's been doing this Helm of Dominator stream for the last 2 days. We just build Helm of Dom on anyone and farm. Yes, pretty insane.
Have they shot themselves in the foot here? They nerfed Necro, and then they just opened the door to Helm Dom anyway.
So the zoo has been closed, but now it's just like one-man pet army is all you need.
And Helm Dom is nice because you don't even have to, it's a complete item. You don't have to buy level 2 Helm Dom and level 3 Helm Dom. It's a nice, 2,000 gold item, and then there you go, you're done. It's almost like old drums.
Yeah,
it gives you 6 armor is great, and 6 all stats, not bad. That's what old drums did. I guess new drums too.
Yep. Speaking of new drums, now requires masks Sage Moss Windlace, Crown Sage Moss Windlace. This sounds really good to me. So it doesn't give you 20 attack speed aura anymore, but now provides 6 all strats, 1.5 mana regen, which is very nice. Cool to see mana regen back, and 20 movement speed bonus. The active move speed's increased by 1%, and the attack speed bonus is increased from 35 to 45. That seems cool to me. Like, I want to build drums. I don't know if I'm overhyping it a bit, but I feel like that's nice. 1.5 mana regen, move speed bonus, 6 all stats, attack speed bonus, and a bit fast with the active. Seems good as like a middling item. Like, imagine this on Ember, so it's nice now. Yeah,
it's a reasonable change because they've just... And it's not the only item. I mean, Helmet on the same. Auras have been slapped in this patch. Zoo meta, they are really trying to stop aura gaming. And then you have to compensate and make the item itself that bit better. So on drums, that bit stronger. And then the active is stronger by 10 attack speed. So now it's like, yeah, maybe this item has merit. Maybe it's active. Drum spell has merit now. So be interesting to see how popular it is.
Yeah. Vlad's then, the final change of these. So now requires Mask of Death, Blades of Attack, Ring of Bastion, a 600 gold recipe. No longer provides the armor aura, no longer provides 5 all stats, and now provides an 18% damage aura, mana regen up to 2 from 1.5, and the lifesteal aura reduced from 20 to 15. You said old school Vlad's, but is it good Vlad's? 18% damage is quite nice, but I feel like other than that, it's quite underwhelming.
Yeah, so the 3 armor aura is pretty nice if you're thinking like a mid-game ball. So auras are weaker, but I like this
and
as
no stats, no all stats,
and
no stats. Lifesteal aura.
I like the damage though, and to me, I like the fact that the damage and lifesteal auras are on the same item now. If I'm a carry, very nice synergy. If I'm playing troll or anti-mage or any right-click carry, it's so clear. If we're in a late game, someone has to have Vlad because it's so value. Because I want the lifesteal and the damage aura, and it's just boom, there it is in one item. I really, really like that rather than having to choose which one do you want. Now this is real clear cut.
Do you think now, based on the way that both the lifesteal aura and the damage aura scale, it's not necessarily like a first item? It's like you can get it later. You just want to have it later. It's almost becomes better the later the game goes on, almost.
Yeah, I agree. Because the damage aura 18% in the 20-30 minute period. If you're any right-click or pause one, that's serious damage buff. And then you really appreciate lifesteal. Like, carries really do get a lot of value from lifesteal aura, be that pushing, rushing, just man-fighting. And now it's all just in one item. I think it's really good value.
Yeah, that's fair. Looking down below, the armor auras...
What's a Mask of Death?
Yeah, so this is what it was called in Dota 1.
I know, it's Morbid Mask. Come on.
Yeah, it's Morbid Mask. I don't even remember Mask of Death. So, some really old school tooltip.
Why have they written it on this?
I don't know. I thought, is that a new item? I knew it was what Morbid Mask was called, but I was like, why is this still in here?
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Who writes the stuff? Who knows?
Literally, I started writing it.
When this launched, the 2 new items weren't even in there. They were just called 2 numbers. I don't even remember what they were.
It's so funny.
357. Yes, this new item. Very cool.
Yeah. It's so dumb. It's because they don't write these notes. That's why they don't write them. There's not someone that writes up this patch. They're all ripped from coding and stuff, and then someone spell checks them. That's it. They're ripped from a database of changes. They're not written up by hand. That's your answer. That's according to someone that I heard.
Stan is the janitor.
Yeah. So Mech now has the 3 armor aura. No longer provides 4 all stats. Self armor reduced from 4. It was 6. That's it. Doesn't seem like, is the 3 armor aura worth it for Mech? It's sort of the ugly duckling of these the ugly duckling of these aura items.
I think it's a buff to Mech because 4 stats, that's 80 HP, for example. It's not too crazy, and I think as a Mech carrier, you are there to provide utility and support and heal, and now you provided armor. And so I think you are providing more utility. Yes, you're weaker yourself, but the mech carrier isn't really that fussed to be some beef roid hero anyway. So I do think it is a buff to mech, and the fact that other aura items are nerfed makes mech that little bit better again.
Yeah, interesting. Let's now go to some of the highlights of the other items, because there are some small changes. I mean, Blade Mail was like the big meme when the patch first came out, when it stacked additively rather than diminishingly. But even just in its base concept now, it now passively has 20% return, or 20 plus 20% of the attack damage. And the active is 80%, so it's still 100% there. And it doesn't grant 8 intelligence anymore, so it now has a recipe rather than Robe of the Magi. This is just, what do we read into this? Just a nerf to buying it on int cores, and now you just want to buy it on...
It's not a damage item on int cores now.
Yeah, well, it's 8 less damage, yeah. Is it good? Is this a buff or a nerf to Blade Mail overall? Is it just
a pretty good item? I've seen it on your old school tanky heroes, and then also like Spectre with a Blade Mail is scary. Very scary. It's like so much dispersion, because that's basically what the passive component is doing. So it's just obnoxious. That, and then like Centaur as well. Oof. That's a lot of retaliate.
Yeah, so they definitely want it to go back to its roots of manly, hit me item, take beats, rather than, oh, actually I'm a quap and I can build it because it gets such omega good stats and it's a juicy active. Thinking about the retaliate component, so I'm thinking if the enemy team has only one real damage source, or only one kind of late game physical damage dealer, it feels like it could be really strong. I mean, if a PA or a PA wants to clean up an entire team and she's getting reflected 20% of her damage on herself, I feel like it could, in some cases, add up to quite a lot in its passive components. So it's not like you can ignore that retaliate aspect. So, I don't know, it's definitely going to have its place now in some games, and I like the spec shout, that's really cool. So I think it's just back in more of its comfortable shoes.
Yeah, it's fair. Monkey King Bar now requires Blitz Knuckles instead of Quarterstaff. Damage reduced from 52 to 42, and attack speed increased from 10 to 35.
Wow. This is the item of the patch, man.
Most buffed item.
It was already good.
It's insane.
It was already good, and now you're being told you can item progression, 1,000 gold, 35 attack speed item. Like, you don't need to tell me twice. I'll buy that shit.
Like, cut 10 damage for 25 attack speed.
Thinking.
I mean, 25 more attack speed so I can proc this 100 damage pierce more often?
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of Wraith King building like triple gloves of haste, buy a Blitz Knuckles, and you get more attack speed for the same amount of gold.
More crits?
Yeah, it's...
More Skelligs.
Casual Blitz Knuckles, that's going to be a thing.
So I played a lot of Blitz Knuckles in the last couple of days. I was playing Void and Wraith King both a couple times, and I mean, these heroes which have a passive proc, like a Void, like a Wraith King, wow, you are loving this item, and then you're loving MKB just as a DPS item. It's just everything you want.
Yeah. Orchid Malevolence is cheaper, but it's worse. So you're basically... You can get it earlier, but you're basically getting the active more than you're getting the stats. That's like the headline. There's less mana regen, there's less int. It's kind of... This is going to be good for a lot of heroes. There's a lot of times where you just want the active as quickly as possible, right?
This hero's insane on mids. I hate it. So, it's just me being those out games. Twice in a row, I go up against a Quap. Twice in a row, they get Giga Fast, Orchid, which is even faster. Like 3,500 gold for an Orchid active? That is insane for snowballers.
Mm. You've also got so not only is say 400 gold a minute of farming, but we've also been talking about these gold buffs generally anyway. So we're getting gold a bit faster. So orchids come in more than a minute faster.
I've seen like 12-minute orchids.
That's scary. And a lot of heroes, like the mana regen, the int, they're already decent. 4 mana regen, 20 int, like pushing those up to 25, 5.5. Whatever, you don't really care about those nerfs. Because like Adam says, it's the active, but also the attack speed damage components as well of Oblivion Staff mean it's so potent on like a Quap, or I've watched a few Weavers and it's a first item, or Gork and Seb went earn Orchid, and the Orchid comes online at a really good timing, and you've got enough mana regen and int, so you don't mind, and now you've got Orchid faster and still hitting hard and silencing with it, so the power of Orchid is no less, really. So it's definitely more favorable.
Yeah. Silver Edge, Echo Saber instead of Ultimate Orb, and now provides 40 damage, 45 attack speed, 12 strength, 10 in, 1.5 mana regen, and keeps the Echo Saber benefit thing. So is Shadowblade Echo Saber back on Slark? That's what I want to know. Yeah, Shadowblade seems...
Silver Edge is good.
Yeah, I like this change.
It does a lot for one item slot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of heroes that like Echo Saber but just wouldn't buy it. Didn't we talk about this last part? We talked about this last ep or 2 eps ago, how no one buys Echo Saber anymore. You just don't see it.
Except for
even Monkey King, now that Echo Saber's only applied by real heroes, even he doesn't want it.
Old, like no one... Yeah. He was the only one that bought it before, and now he won't buy it because it doesn't get applied by his ult. Yeah.
I kind of like it, though. There are loads of heroes that, like Sven, just go Echo Saber Shadowblade on Sven rather than Blink.
And if you're one of these carries or right-clickers, in the past you didn't want to build Shadowblade because it was a bit of a dead item. It does give you decent stats, attack speed and damage, and the invis is really strong, but it did feel a bit weird just, let's buy a Shadowblade. Felt a bit too random, but now...
Felt a bit like pub meme.
Yeah, but now it's actually got more legitimacy, and actually the Shadowblade component is Omega strong for if you're a 1 and you want to initiate. Like, there's a reason why it used to be meta to go Silver Edge on Slark, and Shadowblade on people like Void isn't unheard of, but now it's going to be that bit more legit, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
It's nice on Echo Saber heroes, because it would be 2 slot prohibitive before to go Shadowblade and Echo Saber. Like if you're playing Wraith King or Sven, like you can't do that. And if you're playing Slark, you can legitimately go Diffusal first item and then go Echo Saber Shadowblade because it's a Silver Edge. So like that's, think about how sick that is for Slark if you could go Diffusal, Echo Saber, Shadowblade. Before, that would just be, you'd be 6 slotted too quickly with like trashy items.
Yes.
Now it's just, you're laughing, a Diffusal Shadowblade Echo Saber, and suddenly you've got Diffusal Silver Edge, and it's even better. The Silver Edge is like better for you because you'd rather have Echo Saber than an Ultimate Orb on Slark. Same with Sven. So I kind of like it. I think it's cool. It's cool to see that they've made Echo Saber relevant in this way.
Crazy Slark item. I'm just looking at like 40 damage, 45 attack speed, 12 strength, 10 in, 1.5 mana regen, plus Silverblade active, or Shadowblade active, plus break, plus Echo Saber hit. Jeez.
Yeah, so I feel like if there's a game where break is value, you've got real incentive to go that Silver Edge now, because it is just really nice build up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can go this item on a Wraith King. Echo Saber's good on Wraith King. Shadowblade's fine on Wraith King. Initiate with the Sun.
Yeah, I went Raidy Silver Edge on my Wraith King game yesterday or 2 days ago. That was good. Felt good.
Changes to Wraithband, Bracer, and Null Talisman. Do we want to go over this? They've just made it 1 less, all stats, and they've changed some of the stuff you get with it. Yeah. Is overall they're a bit worse? That's the headline, right?
I mean, attack speed rather than armor for Wraith Bands is value. You're building Wraith Bands, in the early game, you'd way rather have attack speed than armor. Yes, you get a bit less. You get one less AG. Actually, one AG equals one attack speed. So getting 5 attack speed,
and 1.5 armor.
Oh, it does grant you armor. Sorry. Oh wait, so Wraithbound's way better then.
Bracer is interesting because you don't get 4 magic resist, so it's like that's what you would get on supports. Like you get 1 less strength and 4 less magic resist. Now you get +3 damage and 0.75 HP regen. That's like makes it a strength hero item.
Yes,
for sure. And then Null Talisman seems pretty nice because it gives you spell amp, 3 spell amp, but then also 0.6 mana regen, which is what the Sage's Mask does, I think. So it's like pretty value to finish your Null.
Yeah, it did used to. Wraithbound used to give more attack speed though, so it's a nerf to the attack speed that Wraithbound was giving, right?
What did it used to give?
More than 5. I can't remember what it was.
I guess the armor is what you're getting as a bonus.
Yeah, now you're getting armor as well as attack speed, but it used to be just attack speed. So it's worse for farming.
Okay.
Beyond that, maybe we'll revisit that and then start off next pod or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not clear what it used to be.
Yeah. And we don't know because we know where it is. Not that we have a DotA podcast or anything. Ring of Regen, I can't be bothered. Basically, all of these small ones are just nerfed a bit, right? Sage's Mask has been gutted quite heavily from 1 mana regen to 0.6. And then all of this other stuff, the cost is increased. It does
cost less.
It does cost less. Yeah, 175 is cheap. So now they've got they're back to having Ring of Regen, Sage's Mask, and Protection all being the same cost, which is kind of interesting, or 175.
Yeah, it's like the components do less, they cost less, and then the recipe to make them into their bigger thing costs more.
Yeah, that's
so
the
you don't start off with a headdress because I don't know, it's kind of meh.
Yeah,
I mean it's been like nerfed over and over again, but I will say Ring of Regen, buying that as a part of a 4-staff is awesome. Feels real good. 175 cost. For Ring of Regen. That's cool.
Yeah. How funny is it that Pipe of Insight cost has been increased again of the recipe?
Wow.
To 12.50. That's so funny.
It's insane. It takes forever to buy that item now.
Yeah. No, it's costly. Other changes, a lot of Kaya Yasha, Kaya Sanj changes. Any worth going over? I mean, Kaya's kind of interesting. Rather than the 12% mana loss reduction, it's now plus 24% mana regen amplification. It's kind of like a mini Bloodstone, right? In that sense, the mana regen amp. Is this?
Yeah, instead of I don't know. I guess it's probably worse for Storm, but it's like instead of all your things costing less, you just get more mana regen.
Yeah, I feel like it sounds like a buff because the mana loss reduction. It only kicks in when you're using spells, but this mana regen amp is constant and always kicking in. So, from that reasoning, to me, it feels like a buff, but I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's like, it would have to be a number crunch, wouldn't it? I suppose.
Like if you cast 100 mana spell, that now used to be 88 mana, so you'd save 12 mana. Versus, I don't know what mana regen is normal, but say you had 10 mana regen per second, that gets amped to 12.5. So you're getting that 2.5 extra mana a second. That only takes 4 seconds to cover that mana loss reduction. But then, so those numbers make it sound like mana regen amp's way better.
Well, it gets even more buffed when you make Kaya Yasha or Kaya Sanj. It goes up to 30% mana regen amp.
To be honest, I can't really think of many heroes that are loving it. I mean, you've got Storm, big obvious one. Lesh, people have kind of said, could Lesh come back because it's such a mana-intensive hero? Don't know. We've talked about how Lesh is a bit in the dumpster. And then outside of that, really, most...
It does mean... Yeah, one thing that it does mean is, like, clarities are buffed on these heroes. So it's like even more incentive to just have clarities like on your persons at all time. Just to swap them in after a big fight, and you're going to be ready to go like very quickly again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But there's a lot of changes to these things. I mean, Bloodstone's been changed a fair bit. It gives 10% magic resistance, 30% spell lifesteal amplification, but has lost the 12% mana loss reductions. Kind of interesting, weird changes. I don't know.
And the cooldown went from 250 to 85.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
That's insane. That's insane. It's so buff.
It's such a gross active. It's so grim. I don't know why. The deny was fun.
I have so many bad memories of killing a Tinker, or Tinker's dying, and then it pops Bloodstone and gets a third of its HP back and lives, and we lose the game.
Timbersaw as well.
Timber, yeah. Oh my god.
It's a good Timber item because he gets magic resist on it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a sick Timber item actually. Let's mince
that
through
and Blade Mail. Like I've seen Timbers do both of those. And you're like, oh my god, these new items are so good on Timber. Why does he need buffs?
Yeah, no, I can't bother with Timber. So screw that hero. Let's melt through these last basic item changes. I don't think we'll bother with the neutrals, but the basic items. Voodoo Mask, 12% spell lifesteal, 2.5% against creeps for 900 gold. The Bristleback Wet Dream, this was his... Didn't he have a 25 talent that was like 15% spell lifesteal or something? And now he just gets it for 900 gold. Yeah, that's pretty insane.
What's it build into besides Octarine?
That's it, right? Doesn't build into anything else.
Yeah, I think it's just Octarine.
Oh, all right. And then Blitz Knuckles only goes into MKB?
No, I think it's into Shadowblade as well.
I just don't like it when they add an item and it only goes into one thing, you know? Like for Voodoo Mask. Like it is such a niche item, right? It's 12% spell lifesteal.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is it a Lesh? Could you build it on Lesh? Can you build this on OD? I mean, OD doesn't really care about getting his health back, does he?
You can build this on Lena.
Yeah.
I know, it is good on Bristle.
It's insane on Bristle, actually. Yeah.
Looks like it should be a Witch Doctor item from the icon, but I don't think you should be building it on Witch Doctor.
No. They've Veil of Discord's a lot cheaper now. It's like the recipe's half as much. It's like 650. Attributes reduced, cooldown increased, spell amp reduced. So it's cheaper, but it does less. Kind of an interesting one.
Yeah, the spell amp is 2% less.
Yeah.
That's really not much in it. It's kind of like that awkward point of, if it's going to cost 500 less, yeah, okay, you're going to lose some stats, and yeah, it's cooldowns 5 seconds more, but that's not as material as you've now got this active that can come online much earlier in a game. So I feel like you could definitely see a lot more casual Veils, even on supports, your 3, your 5, 4, honestly. And with synergies in particular, if you've got some magic damage strat, value item here for sure.
Yeah, there's not many heroes that were buying Veil, so I think it's nice that they mixed up the item a bit. You'd only really see it on like Sand King, I swear. Yeah,
I like the changes that try and encourage items. Like you say, Veil was not picked up ever, so this is definitely going to try and shove it into the limelight a little bit more.
Holy Locket, you can target allies with stick. You can
That's
stick
what I
allies.
want to do. That's what I
want to try that.
I'm not sure I've built this item once.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, I think I built it once, maybe in history.
I had a time where I built it on Enchantress.
Oh yeah, with all the talents of heal.
Yeah.
We spoke about Holy Locket in episode 4 or something.
Episode 2. Episode 2 is titled Holy Locket, Vlad's is good. That's the title of episode 2. Shout out to all the listeners that knew that. Soul Ring, 2 Gauntlet, blah blah blah. Now provides armor, strength.
No, blah blah. It doesn't have a ring of regen as a ring.
No regen. Yeah, no regen.
Huge nerf.
Yeah, it's a big nerf. Yeah, that sucks, right? I mean,
it's good on some heroes.
So who's it still good on? I think DK will still buy it.
Spec.
But Spec wants the HP regen. He really needs that HP regen.
She's already got good HP regen.
Mm.
Good base.
It's already got good armor as well, right?
You could get away with it on Alk because you have level 6, but I don't think you want that item on Alk to begin with anymore. Like, you already stopped buying Soul Ring. I know there are some heroes that would rather have the armor than the HP regen, but it's not as ubiquitous for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. Given the active of Soul Ring, the HP regen's kind of synergized well and made the item sort of acceptable.
Yeah. What about Necro? Does he want this item? Probably doubt it.
No,
I don't need any of this.
Don't need any of this nonsense.
Yeah, none of this. AC doesn't give 5 stats, but it gives a bit more attack speed. Whatever. Bloodthorn, whatever. Go on.
Old school Battle Fury.
Yeah, Battle Fury back. How many?
So it costs less.
I guess it must. Doesn't say anything about the cost staying the same.
200 less.
That's Pog. I like that.
Yep, you'll take the 5 damage hit and mana regen hit just to get it faster. You know, that's all you want. All you want is for that moment for it to be delivered, and it completes, and you're just like, now I'm online. Now I am farm.
Yeah.
Level 2 activated.
I'm glad they've reduced the damage a bit and the mana regen, because if it just was 200 gold cheaper, I feel like it's dangerously close to being overly bought in the meta.
Yeah.
Like I saw...
just as a damage item.
I saw pro games where like Spectre was going Battle Fury, and I was like, okay, that's a bit mad. I don't want Spectre going Battle Fury. That's like when it's gone over the top. I remember last time when it was insane and Terror Blades and PLs were buying it, and you really knew it was broken.
Yeah.
And like CK was buying it. Hey, remember CK? That's a hero. But yeah, it's back to Claymore Mithril. Casual Cloak's 100 gold cheaper. That's quite nice. Could you buy that on a POS 5? POS 4? Just Casual Cloak?
I don't know, because like you don't have the HP pool to make the cloak decent. You know what I mean? And you're not buying bracers anymore either, so I think the supports are just doomed to explode.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about Meteor Hammer. So the cooldown reduced from 28 to 24, stun duration reduced to 1.5. The recipe's Perseverance Crown 250 gold, so it now provides 8 all stats, 6.5 HP regen, 2.5 mana regen. Let me find this item. Where am I looking? So yeah, for 2,350 gold, that's not much. 2.3k. 8 all stats, 6.5 HP regen, 2.5 mana regen, and on a 24-second cooldown, you've got a really high damage AoE nuke that you can farm waves and camps with. I think Meteor Hammer... I watched a Bowie video, by the way, just to like let you in. And I think I'm a believer in this item as like a sick item on so many heroes, like Spectre, anything. But Spectre was the example that was used because loads of pro Spectres have been building Meteor Hammer. First item, and then going raidy afterwards with no Wraith Bands or something like that. And it seemed really sick. You can just farm waves easily. 1 Meteor Hammer hit kills an entire creep wave.
That is a lot of sustain, the HP regen and mana regen. And stats beef you up a bit. So those stats is like a couple Wraith Bands.
Yeah, I played against a co-op that went this first item off lane. And they farmed a lot.
Yeah, if your hero doesn't have natural farming, like a Spec doesn't until they get raidy, it seems like it could be a very sick pickup. I would definitely consider that, for sure. I don't know what else you would go on, what other heroes you'd go on. Maybe like some CK or something, I don't know, but you don't see CK ever in the world. I mean, you wouldn't do it on CK because he needs to hit a timing early. But
I'm thinking...
Weaver, maybe?
I don't think he needs that much regen. I don't think he wants to stand in Meteor. A hero I've thought of, Mars. He wants health regen and mana regen for spells. Stats are decent. If you think about a spear followed by a meme hammer, that's a combo.
Yeah.
That's something.
I like that.
So you don't have to buy Soul Ring instead.
Yeah, you don't get Soul Ring. You've got the regen from this. Some stats as well, nice.
Yeah, I'm in for the Meteor Hammer. Spirit Vessel, one of the last significant changes, I would say. So no longer has a heal reduction or a soul release regen increased from 30 to 40. Soul release DPS increased. Enemy HP regen reduction increased from 35% to 45%. This seems like a buff to Spirit Vessel, what it was meant to do. So now it counters the heroes it already countered even harder. So it's more of a must build when you're playing against Alk or whatever, Bristleback or heavy regen heroes. Is that the read? Is that the correct read?
It's better on the target. That's what you were kind of wanting it for anyways.
Shivas, Marco, you like this item. What have they done to Shivas?
Yeah, big fan of Shivas. So for the small price of 100 extra gold to the recipe cost, the aura of Shivas now applies a 25% heal reduction in the area. So does that apply to HP regen, or is it only to... Is it?
Should be.
Or is it only to heals?
Or no, sorry. Spirit Vessel says HP regen reduction.
Okay.
And then this says heal reduction.
So it would be like only a mech or spells that heal that would get reduced. So that's not every single game. But when it does take place and there is like a Death Pulse or a mech or Greaves is a very strong item. We've said a lot, so not a low chance that a Greaves exists. Shivas now does heal reduction, woo, pretty sick, and it's only 100 extra gold, so seems like a big fat buff. Not every game, but when it is relevant, really good.
I mean, it's just a bonus. Like, it already did what it already did. Or it still does everything it already did, and it just gets this huge 25%, buff. Like a new thing. So, seems good.
Seems really good. Honestly.
It's good because I feel like Shiva's been out of the meta for a while, so now I feel like you'll really want it on a hero.
Like, you just take this Spirit Vessel and then the Scotty, which we'll get to, and like, people just aren't going to regen.
Oh yeah, Scotty.
Yeah. What have they done to Scotty, Adam? Tell the listeners.
Heal reduction increased from 35% to 40%, and then the slow has gone up 5 as well. So just buy the ice items. I think if you just buy MKB and the ice items, you're good to go.
I like that Scardy's back because, again, like Shivas, it's been out for a while. We haven't seen very much Scardy's, so it's cool to see it back. Some more snowballs on the range heroes. I like that. I built it on Razor, felt good. I think I went Shiva's Scardy on Razor and it felt good.
And BKB piercing.
Yeah, that's huge.
The slow is really nice.
Yeah, and then I think the last change, unless anyone has anything to add, change.
Can I just keep on Scardy for a second?
Yeah, of course.
So I've just gone on the Dota 2 Gamepedia, and it says that the cold attack passive applies a heal reduction, health regen reduction, and lifesteal reduction. Is that what it used to be, or
it already did that, and now they're just buffing the heal reduction?
So
I guess
they're only changing the heal reduction aspect.
They're buffing it, so it still does what it did before.
Because in this Gamepedia, the notes it's saying 40% is applied to like all those three things. You know what I mean? Like, it's not saying health regen reductions 35% and heal reductions now 40%. It seems to suggest that health regen, heal, and lifesteal are all reduced to 40%, which would make the item really good. And I don't know, I feel like that is what it's meant to do.
I think the item is really good.
But I mean, same with Shivas. I don't think it's just meant to be heals. I do think it sounds everything. Like it's every kind of heal, regen, lifesteal. So
that's the interesting. I'm just going to buy ice items,
and that makes it very fucking good.
Yeah. Actually, it makes sense because heal reduction isn't specific, really.
Yeah,
you can heal in different ways.
A heal might be the umbrella of HP regen plus, spells healing plus like salves plus like everything. I don't know.
Lifesteal.
Yeah.
But Scotty plus Shivas, that's 65%. Although I guess it doesn't stack additively. It stacks diminishingly. It's still a lot.
Yeah. So Heart of Trask, the last item with significant changes, doesn't provide the 10 HP regen nor heal regen amplification, but now passively provides 1% health regeneration. While out of combat, 50% health regeneration. So this is a buff to Heart in fights, correct? Because if you've got 4k HP, you're getting, 40 HP regen? That's quite strong. That's just without it being whatever you would call it, when you haven't taken damage for a while, out of combat, I suppose. Less strength, and the recipe cost is up a bit. Do you think overall this is a buff?
Yeah, it's better overall.
Yeah.
In fights. Because a lot of times there's like so much you would just get chipped with like some random little dinky spell and it would get turned off. And then it's just so much worse than Satanic if it's off.
Yeah.
So I like that it does something in a fight, like what you were saying. If you had 4k HP, if you buy a heart, you probably have somewhere along the lines of 3.5 to 4k HP, and that's going to be somewhere around 35 to 40 regen in a fight. And then out of combat, you should still be regening pretty fast.
Yes. Yeah. And then beyond that, a lot of little mini changes to a lot of the neutral items, and some mini change to these other items. Smoker Deceit's now 50 rather than 80. Projectile speed from nullifiers back up to a bit higher, like what it used to be.
That's really good. That's a 33% increase of the projectile speed of nullifier. I do think it was a big weakness that it was very slow. You could easily disjoint it with stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Abyssal cast range is down. That's not really surprising. Recipe cost from Lincoln's is down 300 gold. That's quite nice. I've
already seen that a couple times.
Lincoln's is so expensive. Such an expensive item. It feels kind of gross. The build-up is so bad. That's what I hate about Lincoln's. It's like ultimate orb, like perseverance. And
they also buffed
900 gold recipe.
Or they made ultimate orb cheaper too.
They did, yeah, they did.
By 100. So that means Lincoln's 400 cheaper overall.
Wow. That means Scardy's a lot cheaper as well, right? 2 of them going in, 200 gold cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Heaven's Halberd, evasion reduced. Any further comments? I haven't really looked into all of these neutral items. The only one I remember is the Flicker now has a minimum 200 cast range.
The Tome of Knowledge costs 75 instead of 150. That's big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Costs half as much.
Yeah, and you can't get griefed from consumable neutral drops. Dropping like 2 different types of consumables was kind of annoying.
Right.
But yeah. Final words on the patch before we wrap up. Marco, do you feel like this is overall these changes are pretty good? Kind of, do you feel like it's what was needed or what was warranted?
Yeah, definitely. I think as you'd hope with any patch, you wanted to kind of just improve the game quality, progress the game, to like tap out these stupid zoo OP stuff. So everything's welcome. There's none of it that I'm like, I'm not too happy or that's annoying or uninteresting. I think everything's a nice balanced change. I think the XP hero gold business is cool. So yeah, moderate patch, but welcome patch.